Privileged to be here today, Paul. Thanks very much for taking the time to do this. You and I have had several conversations together, and we've talked a lot about the journey of becoming a professional footballer. And obviously, having played at the very highest level, having experienced the very top level in the game, which is obviously the World Cup, representing your country and playing in the very best league in the world, the Premier League. Grateful to have your experiences and your time here today, so thanks very much for joining me. Really what we're going to do is we're going to give everybody at home the chance to gain an insight really into what it really takes to get to the very top in your profession, whether you be in professional football, whether it be in business, whether it be in whatever aspect, whatever you want to achieve in your life. We're going to share some concepts with you here today that will enable you to gain an insight into somebody's life who's achieved the very best. I guess really the best place to start would be talking about the very early years in your career. There were many influences on you as a person and as a player. What stage did you really come to know that you wanted to be a professional footballer?
Well, as soon as I could talk, as soon as I could walk, I had a ball at my feet. Just like the George Best story, every other type of story that you can imagine. Okay? I just knew I was going to be a footballer. All the influences, the outside influences, the bigger boys playing football, you know, seeing television, seeing Cyril Regis on the television and that, it was something that I'd always wanted to be. So I just knew that I was going to be a footballer. I knew that that's what I wanted to be. I knew that I had a God-given aptitude for playing football, and I knew that I was going to go out there, be a footballer. My mum always used to ask me, what are you going to be? What do you want to be when you grow up? Footballer. That's it. Straight up and down, that's all I wanted to do.
And so right from a very, very early young age, the influences in your life, like your mum, gave you a very powerful reason for wanting to achieve the very best in your life. And how did that motivate you? How did that drive you towards your goal?
Well, my mum, she's got an amazing story, and I'd love to tell it one day. It's crazy. My mum was, when she was 6 or 7, she was in a house fire, and the whole of her body from up there to down there was burnt. And she's had a mad journey herself, but with her journey, she always took care of myself. So she's had not the best life in the world, not the best life that you can imagine. So we had to move from city to city to basically save our lives. So she's had a tumultuous experience in terms of life. Then I've had to witness all that. So coming through that, that's given me the strength to be able to almost pay her back for the belief that she's shown me, the fact that she's raised me up. She was the umbrella sheltering me from a lot of things by moving us from here to here. That's why I can move about and I can get on with anybody, because I've been forced to make and forge relationships with strangers. So what happened is I played my football, and all in the back of my mind I can always just hear my mum saying, go and do what you've got to do, be the best that you can be.
So she was a tremendous influence in your life from a very, very young age.
Huge. She was everything. Okay. When I got to the World Cup, there was a program called Caribbean Uncovered, and they'd come on and said, "Have you got any messages for the people back at home?" And I said, "Mum, this is for you," because it was the pinnacle of what had happened, reaching the World Cup. The only person who could be that proud of me, I wanted to share it with, and I was in Jamaica, she was in England, so I had to get the message to her somehow. Got the message there, because she was the driving force throughout what you see today.
Now that's a very important notion, because most of us, when we're trying to achieve something, really need to connect with a reason, a purpose, a meaning. Would you say that was primarily one of the major reasons as to why you wanted to become a professional footballer?
Yeah, it was life. That was life to me. It was escapism. The area that I grew up in didn't offer anything else. It didn't offer education. It didn't offer a job out there, because you're in a deprived area, or deprived areas. Your Ladywoods, your Smethwicks, your Moss Sides in Manchester. This is where I grew up. So my mum being the main influence, and we were a single parent family, but she was a strong woman. And that's why that part of that rubs off onto me. So where I didn't have a father influence in my life, she became the mum and the dad, and she became the reason why I propelled myself forward and said, I can be just as strong as her.
Often when I've spoken with other athletes and interviewed the likes of Stuart Pearce and Ray Clements and Sir Trevor Brooking, they said to me, you know, especially Stuart Pearce, I didn't know exactly what to do every single step of the way. I just knew that I wanted it. I just knew that I wanted to get this desired outcome. I had something in my mind, in my heart that I believed I was going to go after. And so we're moving now from the early years and the tremendous influence that, you know, your mum had on you, to now you've begun to harness that skill that you had, you discovered that you had. And you began to move closer towards that goal. And we've jotted some things down here, and we talked about the discovery. What started the process of you discovering just what a talent you had? And when did you become aware that actually the dream was starting to become a reality?
Well, I was around 10, 11. I was beginning to become settled. We'd moved from Manchester to Birmingham. I'd gone to a school called Parkside in Birmingham, and